All right, I got here a 2011 Camry. Customer complaint is it's running rich. Nope, it's not this one. The clicker's not working. All right, it's this one. They say it's running rich and there was a code for the mass airflow sensor. And I think they replaced the mass airflow sensor. They had a known good mass airflow sensor. And it stayed exactly the same. So I think they put the original one back in, which I'm happy with. Alright, I'm gonna do a scan. This place has tons of mosquitoes. I didn't plug the tool in. It's a Toyota. Running rich. Mass airflow code. Is that a stuffed cat? A stuffed cat would cause that. Oh wow, 13 codes. Also, we got a system 2 rich and a bunch of misfires. Master volume, airflow, A circuit range performance. Oh, those are just history codes. Okay. Let me just make a report of this. Alright, let's go into OBD first. Read data stream. Alright, let's get the airflow rate from mass airflow, calculated load, engine RPM, long-term fuel trim, short-term fuel trim. How many could we graph at a time? We can only graph 4, unless we combine them all. Oh, even then it's only 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph. Alright, so we're at not so bad. Wait, airflow is from pounds an hour. Hold on. We need, let's go to metric. Okay, 4 grams a second. It's a little high. He said he replaced it. To me, a high mass airflow a lot of times means dirty. Let's rev it up. It hit 70, which is not bad, but I think it's too high, not too low. But he did replace it, but he could be replaced it with, I don't know, one that was dirty also. Calculated low value goes to what? To 100, yeah. Something, it's off. It's running too high. Now, the long-term fuel trim, it's not crazy rich. It's like, it's in spec right now, so it must be triggered it at one time. I wonder if when they were, no, but it's the original mass airflow. I want to see it. Step number 1. I want to look at it to see if it's dirty. It doesn't look too bad at all. So is this just a stuffed air filter? Nah, doesn't look too bad. Alright, so what else could be causing it to run intermittently rich and not suck in? It could be a catalytic converter. Alright, let's see. This looks really rusty. That I could pull the two out and stick something in, but I think easier would be just to pull out a coil and plug and pop a transducer in and just see if on the exhaust stroke if there's back pressure. I guess this way you could also see timing. And then in my truck, the light goes on and you gotta go like this, hit the cluster and it shuts off. Little trick. Or you could fix your cluster, but I never did that. Alright, so I'm going to put my scope in cylinder. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull out the spark plug. Here's the transducer, just let it turn on. Okay. Connect the cable to channel A. Alright, then on the scope, we're going to go to channel A. Probes. WPS 500 in range 1. We'll lower it to about 22 to 200. Let's shut this channel off. Okay, and let's start it up. It's stalled. Doesn't accelerate at all. Did I not plug the mass airflow in? Yes, I think I did not plug the mass airflow in. No, it's plugged in. Let's see what we got. Look at that. Alright, watch. The timing I think is off. Or it could be a phaser is off. You see this big spike here? That is in the exhaust. So let me get rulers. We're gonna get phase rulers. Alright. This is 720 degrees of crankshaft rotation. So from, you see this is lighter, darker, so that's the 4 strokes of the engine. So this is the expansion stroke. That's when technically the spark plug would fire. Either the power stroke, there's no spark plug. Then this, then it comes up on the exhaust stroke. So if you have a bad cat, you would see over here, this whole thing would be higher pressure. Right now, it's pretty much at 0. But towards the end of the stroke, it goes a huge spike up to 19 psi. Now what is that? That means this intake valve, this exhaust valve is closing. This exhaust valve is open. It's just off in the sky. You see how early it's opening up? it's opening over here, which is, let's see how many degrees. So you just check it with, from the where it changes, it's opening 56 degrees before bottom dead center, because this is top dead center, that will be bottom dead center. Then again, top, bottom, so on and so forth. So is that too early? Now the question is, I think it's supposed to be closing later, and over here it's closed. Since it's opening too early, it's closing too early also. So that's why this spike, since the valve's closing. So I think that we have a timing issue, and that's why it's causing these issues. Now, why is the engine not running now? Probably because we have one cylinder off. It was working enough with all the cylinders firing. What I think we have to do is a cam and crank. And I think this has a phaser, the exhaust phaser I think's off. I don't know why it doesn't have a code for it, but this thing I think even has a TSP for exhaust phasers. Also, you see that's 137 PSI? That's very, very high for running compression. Usually it's closer to 80. Like 70 to 90. Alright, what I do want to try is, I want to unplug the, well, that's just the ground. I want to unplug the phaser for the exhaust. I'm just going to unplug it just to make sure it's not electrically stuck on, phasing the engine. It's not 100% proof because it could be physically stuck open. But what I could do is I could actuate it, I could activate it while the engine's running and see if it shifts. If it does shift over, that means the physical time is off, not the phaser. All right, let's try this again. And now it's running. It's still running bad. Let me see if I can rev it up. Barely. It's about to stall. All right, let's check it out. Yeah, so this is when I'm revving it. Let's go back. All right, this is when it's running. It's the exact same. It's running with the thing off. It's the exact same. So what could I test? I guess I could manually activate it, see if it's clicking, and then see if it moves over. Before that, I'm gonna run a cam crank and then do the same test with a cam crank, because then I'll actually see where it's holding. All right, I'm gonna get set up for a cam crank. So I know that the cams I can grab from right there, and the crank, I think it's in the big one. I think it's in the big one. Let me go check. Yeah, it's one of these. I think it's these two right here. But let me just make sure. Let me get a diagram. Okay, it's a red and a green. $120 and $74. C24. So, okay, the big pins are in the back. So it's this way. So we got 120. It's this one and that one. I don't have to get the ground from here either. I'm just gonna do it. Okay, let's plug this in now. Okay, that's the crank. Okay, B is gonna be one of the cams. I'll put this on the intake cam. All right, and I'm gonna take this out and put the plug back in just to see if it runs better. Okay, let's go. Let's start this thing. Let's see if it runs. All right, now it runs. It's obviously not perfect, but it's running. All right, so now I got my cam and crank. Let's let it run a little bit. All right, stop it. I'm gonna shut the car. We'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so the red is my intake and this is my exhaust. All right, let's go find the known good. All right, so here's a known good. This is from Keith Perkin, L1 Automotive Training. He has a waveform library. So let's just make sure he did it the same as us. Intake cam is too good. That's why I did it. And it looks, from right away, it looks off. Hold on. All right, so we're looking at the exhaust. That's what we think is off first. So we're gonna go over the middle hump. When it's in the middle, should be 3 things over. Let's go to ours. So we have 3, see there's 3 sizes on the green. So the middle, like I thought, it's off. You see, we're only at 1 and we should be at 3. Yeah, so our exhaust is definitely off. Now let me go look at his intake just to see if they're both off. All right, so intake in the same spot is on also the middle one. It should be on the sync notch right in the beginning of it, and it pretty much is. So it's a drop off, maybe a tiny drop off, but so now how do we know it's not the valve? Maybe it's stuck open letting oil in the whole time. So I think they sell block off kits, but I don't have that. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to activate that phaser right there and see if it moves over from this way even more the other way. Or actually, I think it retards it. As long as it moves something, I know it's working, the phaser, and it's just in the wrong, it's clocked in the wrong spot. All right, I'm just going to hook it up to, this should be the right size. Okay. Now one of these is going to go straight to ground, or it doesn't really matter which way. Let's first make sure we hear a click. Yeah, it's definitely clicking, so electrically it works. Something like that, and you hear it clicking from over there. Okay, so now I'm gonna start the car. All right, so now car's running. We got all our signals. Okay, ready? Now it might stall. It probably will stall, to be honest. All right, it definitely moved over. You hear it? You even hear the idle moving. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. Okay, so right now it's active. I'm gonna go look at it. All right, so the green we're looking at. 4, we were at around 1, and now we're in between 6 and 7. And now let's go look at, I know I had a known good from him. So here's a known good when he does it. So I can clearly see that it's moving. So it's not a bad solenoid. It seems like it's either the phaser or the chain. Well, it's not the chain because the other one's in time. So it's the phaser. Oil control valve is 100% duty cycle. That's what we wanted. Just wait for this to load. X. Okay, he's going, oh, so he's measuring from here to here. 93 degrees. It went in 93 degrees. Now let's look at his other one. And this one, 47 degrees. She's 47 degrees to the last one. Now by us, this is, let's make rulers like he did. From that's 720. We're 80 degrees, but let me just make sure he's in the same spot. I think he's not. Yeah, he's in 93, yeah, also in the middle. Okay. So he's at 93, so we're clearly 10 off or more. And this is in when it's active. Now let's go look when it's not active. This is at, let's go to idle. This is his with idle. He's 47 degrees off. Let's move this over here. That's 47 degrees, right? I mean, sorry, that's 720. Now we're gonna go from here. Now he's 47 degrees away. What'd I do? And we are 25 degrees away, so a good 25 degrees. All right, so now that we got all our captures, let's work through this again. Okay, so this is idle, okay? So at idle, we are from here to there, we are 25 degrees away. Now, if you look at the second one, on the ending part, we're at the first one. Now, this is how I am at idle. When I activate it, I go this way, I move it more over. So I'm now 82, so 25 to 82. So it's shifting 57 degrees. Fine. That's on my capture. Now on the known goods, this is idle. He's 47 degrees away instead of 25, so already 20 degree difference. And then when it's active, he's 93 degrees away, which is 46 degrees. All right, so mine's moving even more, so that's it. The phaser's messed up. The phaser is messed up. It has to be. Something's broken in the phaser. They're gonna open it up, they'll see. They're gonna have to check the chain, and they'll probably have to do the whole timing thing. But it definitely needs a phaser. I'm almost positive these things are under, there's like a TSP for these phasers going bad. I've seen so many 2011s with a bad phaser. Now, I don't know what they're gonna do. They have to check the engine. That's what this thing's timing's off. We were able to see it on the transducer. You know, just to be positive, I do a cam crank also and try to compare it. And just to make sure it's not just an oil control valve, you see the oil control valve does make it move 50 degrees, which is actually more than the other one, which is weird. It could be like the dowel pin that's holding it straight is messed up and it's just moving too much. I don't know, but that's, the diagnosis is it needs a phaser or something wrong with the timing. It's not gonna be, you can throw as many mass airflow sensors as you want, it's not gonna fix it. All right, thanks for watching.